necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM. We are under an open heaven where His glory shall be revealed, where the sin sick soul shall heal. We are under an open heaven. We are under an open heaven. We are under an open heaven where His power shall overflow, where the broken shall be made whole. Yeah, we are under an open heaven. Yeah, we are under an open heaven. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, my mama. Oh, we are under an open. Oh, yeah, yeah. Pour out your power on us. Oh, pour it out. Oh, we are under an open. Oh, pour it out. Rain on your people. We are. Oh, rain on us. We need your power, oh God. Oh, we need you, God. We know you're able, Jesus. Oh, cover us, God. Oh, cover us, Lord. Oh, shower down, Lord. Rain on your people, we are. Yes, we are. We need your glory, God. Oh, shower. Reveal your power, oh God. Hey, we are on. Yes, we are on. Yes, we are on. Oh, in your presence there is fullness of joy. And at your right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Yes, as we lift our voices to give you praise, you'll obey. And we'll forever bless your holy name. Yeah. And we're declaring, hey, do anybody believe in miracles in here? Miracles. Signs, hey. I believe in miracles. Signs, hey. Yeah. Miracles. Signs, yeah. In your presence there is fullness of joy. And at your right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Hey, as we lift our voices to give you praise, you'll obey. Hey, and we'll forever bless your name. We're declaring signs and wonders. I believe in miracles. Boy, doesn't ever since I started talking up there, joining Denzel in the garage. Every place I've gone, people have been telling me, you can go to Denzel quick.
I mean, they've said some really bad things to me about my voice. They've said some really horrible things about the way I sing, and I'm very offended. I'm going to call Wendell Stewart and have a conversation with Wendell Stewart about the way I sing. Oh, I don't think Wendell Stewart is with us anymore. I think Wendell Stewart has passed away. I can't be consulting the dead. But I told Wendell Stewart and I had the same kind of voice until they told me that I can't sing. I was very disappointed, extremely disappointed, to know that my voice didn't match the Ed Sumners and the Denzel Rule and the Devon Rule and the Clint Watson. Clint got your own group too, right? Clint got the group. What Clint on called? You don't know? No. Well, you got jokes. You gotta hurry up. You have to hurry and put a microphone inside there, guys. You're gonna meet Delton Road, man. Right? You're gonna be the producer. Let me say good morning to my producer, Delton Road. You're gonna be the producer. Producer got more jokes than you can think about. He from Def Comedy Jam Part 2, 2.0. That young man is really something else inside there. I asked him what Clint Watson music group going to be on the headlines. What a word. Oh my God, Katrina Black, Joshua Russell, Dolores Francis Williams, that's my mother. Jenna Major, Jacqueline Swan, that means the voices up in the house. Good morning to all of you guys. Cindy Sinclair over at Down to Earth Adventure Farm. Ellen Hanna, Andrea Rollins, Desiree Durham. Good morning to all of you guys. As we get started, if you are listening by radio, if you are in Catwalk or Insurance, one of the groups, John Bonamy, good morning to you. If you are listening by radio, lock it in. I saw my friend Spence Finlayson just the other day, a couple of days ago. I saw Spence. Spence Finlayson is now doing a show, 9 to 11. I think 9 to 11, 9 to 12, something like that, on Saturday nights. And I think he's immediately responded to something like that. But I told Spence, why would you go on at 9? I'm on at 9. No one's listening. That's my friend. I can get away with that. No, Spence is my boy. And I want to say good morning to everybody. Spence is my boy. That's the motivational. Spence and I did a lot of stuff together in the past. And oh my God, the name of the show today is They All Came Tumbling Down. Well, I don't know if they all came tumbling down, but many of them came tumbling down yesterday. They all came. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had no permit to be there. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And all the king horses and all the king men couldn't put Humpty together again. Hopefully they wouldn't be able to put those doggone illegal houses back together again in Albuquerque. They put the mall on those things yesterday. I saw that's a big piece of machine they used to knock them down. When that thing gripped the roof, when they gripped the roof, it held the roof like a sandwich. It held the roof like a sandwich. And it all came tumbling down. Listen, they say those houses in Albuquerque weren't built up to building code. They weren't built up to sovereign codes. Forget building codes. They weren't built according to the Constitution of the Bahamas. You cannot just go on any land and just build willy-nilly however you feel. Now, some information I can tell you all right now, because I got more information on this. Colin Butterfield, good morning to you. Good morning. Adrian, to be listening that's Florida. Chanel Taylor, good morning to you. Albia Gray, good morning. Not only were they not built up to building codes, those houses should not have been built to begin with. And I'm not throwing shade, I'm telling you what time it is. They should have not been built to begin with. Would give anybody any right to go in any country and build willy-nilly however you feel like. The devil is a liar on his children. And if they thought the pressure was on then, wait now. Operation Sovereign Bahamas can touch them up a little bit. You just can't come in the country and do as you please. We're going to apply the pressure on the Ministry of Works. If there are any more generators on the ground, go dig those up too. Don't stop until all the houses are gone. The Bahamian people are not pleased with your level of performance when it comes to illegal immigration and the work that they've been doing. They should not have been in Abaco to begin with. Dorian moved them. And after Dorian moved them, there should have been a data processing done to discover who all was here, who did not have documents. Every single person should have been fingerprinted, went through a database, and if your documents did not match the Department of Immigration, you should have been in. You could type it when you go. You go to Port-au-Prince, Port-au-Pay. You pick one. But go back. It's time to call a spade and not a club and diamond. And any number of persons who come to our country through the front door who wants to do it right. And we have to be very careful with them and these Chinese too. The Chinese on my mind a little bit. Got to be very careful with the Chinese. These Chinese got liquor store. No, they ain't only got liquor store. Chinese got liquor store, hardware, restaurant. And they seem to get more permits in this country than you can shake it. So you would be always picking on the person from Haiti. But the people from Haiti, I better come outside this morning. I almost didn't know English here this morning. What is going on, Delton? I leave the area to you, and all of a sudden I come back and no English. No habla English. Every area you go in, country's been invaded. We've been invaded. I remember when you could go in every major area and the predominant language is English. Now the predominant language is Creole. But they say you can't make this stuff up. And you've been trying to get the governments of the Bahamas to realize what you're talking about. And if they think the officers local or something, wait till they make me Minister of Immigration with a senator post. Senator with the responsibility for immigration and repatriation. I don't just have the Ministry of Immigration. I got the Ministry of Repatriation. They go together. You can't have the Ministry of Immigration without the Ministry of Repatriation. Senator Adrian Francis, Minister of Repatriation and Immigration. Repatriation got to come first. Shh. Minister of Repatriation. Minister of Responsibility for Repatriation and Goodbye. Can you imagine the Ministry of Goodbye? A Ministry of Repatriation and Goodbye. I'm playing with them. Trying to get this thing back in order. That'd be a good title. Minister of Goodbye. Minister of Repatriation and Goodbye. Imagine when they called me, call it Butterfield. When they called me, hey Minister, what's your title? Minister of Goodbye. GB, not for Grand Bahama. GB for goodbye. So let me just congratulate the governor of the Bahamas, and I shouldn't even say congratulate. Thank you for doing your job. You stop congratulating me for doing the job. Your wife said she want her. Verona knows. Where you been, Verona? Jesus, look at Verona. The The wife says she want a baby, and you finally impregnated your wife. She won't say thank you. That's your job. You keep saying, giving kumbayas and things to all the people who are doing their job. What a beautiful Friday. When you see houses going down that were built illegally, before we get into the Constitution, there are a couple of people who want to call. Y'all can call it 828-3543, 828-3543. Before we get into our Constitution this morning, let's let some behemoths in on this whole, because Sydney's going to weigh in on this situation also. Those homes that were built, and one of the questions that people ask, Adrian, and the government have to answer this question. You knock down the homes. People stayed in those homes. You allowed them to build 8 feet apart. You allowed them to build 8 feet apart. Where are these persons going now? I looked at the video from Kai. Thank you very much, Kai Mills. Kai for president. Kai Mills for president. Kai Mills for president. Kai Mills for president. Thank you, Kai Mills. Listen, I watched the video. I saw all of the person from Ministry of Works. I saw people from all the. I saw the police in the digi uniforms, Defense Force. Police were very happy. They seemed to be very smilish. There were a couple of big guns just in case small guns came out. It was one of those moments. What are we going to do now with the persons who have been displaced? Because it's very important to not be inhumane. It's extremely important that we're not inhumane and leave the persons out in the rain. We don't want to create a social disorder in Abaco. What are we going to do with the persons who were displaced? Let's ask the real question now. What are we going to do? Joshua said the Chinese on my mind a whole lot. We can get to the Chinese in a minute, Josh. Because while they singing Creole over here, they singing Mandarin Shung Kong King Kong over there. So we ain't got no language between Creole and Mandarin. So there's a message already on what we can do with them people. Someone said document and deport. I wonder if we taking their fingerprints. Hey, someone fell back one time. We come back the next week. And when shirt, guess what the shirt say? It's better in the Bahamas. Geez, you can't make this stuff up. Let me tell you something. Dawson, I know what you put in this tea. This tea tastes like honey. It's sweet, 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 sweet. Pour some of this out and get some of that sweet out of this, man. I promise I wasn't even going to deal with no sugar this morning. So what are we going to do? You can take it. Pour some of it out for me, please. And we are okay. So the numbers are 828-3543, 828-3543. There's any number of persons who believe that they've gotten to take over the country. And now I'm understanding. Alex is talking about the Mexicans today too. Jesus, what's going on? We become an overnight melting, but not overnight, but a melting pot. A melting pot of Spanish, Mandarin, Creole. And you know, Bahamian don't even speak English, but it's called we speak. Bahamian. God have mercy on our soul. What a time. What a day here in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. Welcome to National Access. Those of you who are part of the National Access family. Those of you who are part of Operation Southern Bahamas Global Ministries. Oh, what a time last night. What a time last night. And if you have not been to the Constitution classes yet, you don't know your rights. That's why you're getting any lefts. You don't know your rights. That's why you're getting lefts. Let me introduce the great professor. Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. Doc, you dressed right up today. Beige with a tad bit of yellow, with a brown tie. Oh, let me have to put the debonair on the camera. Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. professor of the Constitution. So somebody say something before you say, all the Haitians who have documents, to the left, to the left. Hey, everybody move to the left, to the left. All of you who have documentations on work permits. To the right, because ain't no job. Now go over to the left, to the left. Anyhow, let me just stop this morning. My mother said, "No, answer question. What did COB do when they threw my things out of the office?" I think they asked my mom to, anyhow, my mother's throwing shade this morning, and she's very, very calculated about the fact that when you mistreat Bahamians. Okay. Chinese have business license. Haitians operating without anything. That's why the focus on them. No Chinese got some business license under the table, and they pay for theirs up high. I can deal with the Chinese up high, and I can deal with the illegal immigrants from Haiti down low. Got to deal with all these people. But we want to focus on this influx of illegal immigrants from Haiti who have come here. Seem like an invasion. Anyhow, welcome Constitution Friday, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Pastor Francis. And good morning, Bahamas. It's good to be here on a Friday morning to talk about the Constitution. I just want to say something about the class last night. It was, if you talk about the fireworks of July the 4th and July the 10th, we had more of that combined in Operation Sovereign Bahamas last night. I could not even predict what happened last night as I left my home to go to this lecture. It was the most challenging lecture that I've ever had since working with Operation Sovereign Bahamas. And I appreciate the question, the hard, difficult questions that the audience threw at me. I'm well prepared when it comes to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Don't make no mistake about that. It doesn't matter how you throw the questions. You only can ask a question the way you know how to ask them. It's not a problem for me. But the point is, I see something that I didn't see before as clearly as I saw last night. The Bahamian people are rising up. They want their country. They want to know the Constitution. And I can remember the years when I was talking about it in those early years, not a soul was checking for any Constitution.
That's right.
That has changed dramatically. And what I also noticed is so many people had the document in their hand.
Yes, sir.
They came with it.
They came ready last night.
Yes, they were ready and prepared, and they were fired up. July 4th and July 10th combined could not come with enough fireworks that we had last night.
My God.
And I am just delighted. I was moved. I was surprised by how the lecture went. I wasn't expecting it, but you have to expect the unexpected, which simply means that God is moving mightily on this country to bring change. The Bahamian people have been praying for change. They've been crying out for change. And God is in the business of raising up some people to do just that. Now, when you check 1 Corinthians 1, 28-31, you're going to find that God says he's going to call the weak, the foolish, the base, the despised, the foolish, to confound the wise. Because the thing is that there are some people who believe they're so mighty and so powerful. Fine, no problem. God could do without you because he said no flesh will glory in his sight.
My God, my God.
He is able to take something that is base and nothing. Well, I come from the nothing class. He's able to take nothing and make nothing something, and
Yes,
take
sir.
something and make it nothing.
Yes, sir.
So we need to understand that the way how God moves, he's going to move with the nothing people, the people who are base, the people who are despised, people who are not recognized by the establishment in this country. They're going to be the ones who are going to take the country forward. Whether you believe that or not is not important to me. But the point is, it's going to happen. You're going to see it happen. It's going to happen right in your face. You have some people who have had the opportunity to run this country for the last 54 years, since majority rule,
Yes,
January
sir.
the 10th, 1967. You've had some people who had it from July the 10th, 1973, some 48 years this coming July. The point is, you have had your chance.
My God.
And the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas will make their determination on you. Some of you thought you were not able to be challenged, or not, you're going to stay there forever and continue this nonsense and this foolishness that has been perpetrated on Bahamian people. Bahamian people are waking up now. And that class last night taught me a vital lesson to stay humble.
My God.
Be very, very humble. Do not let your ego get the better part of you.
Yes, sir.
That's why I say to people, you need to know this Constitution just like anybody else. I might be a professor in constitutional law, but the point is, that's not even important when it comes to this Constitution. Every single Bahamian, every single person, because the Constitution uses the word person, it says every person. Now, those who are here legally, of course, now. Let me make that point in there. A resident or permanent resident or persons with citizenship. They have a right to those documents. Now, you can't come through no back door and back window and say you got front door rights, because it don't work that way. If you are in the country illegally, you are violating the law. The Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas cannot support illegality. And I challenge anyone to show me the evidence that it could. It cannot. Now, there was some comment about changes being made to the Constitution, and some people got mixed up with the weaknesses of persons who have had the opportunity to govern the country, and some of them still have, you know. Do not get the weaknesses of certain personalities to cause you to despise your Constitution. See, I'm a hardcore constitutionalist, and people know me for that. And I ain't budging one iota. When it comes to the questions on the Constitution, they're very tough questions. There are no easy answers to constitutional questions. So you're going to find that a lot of people may not want to even get into constitutional discussions. But you see, I'm cut out for that. Thank God for that. It's a good thing I did study it. I did not even know that I would be doing what I am doing today in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as a result of going back many years ago when I first went to see an attorney about the law. And my mind told me, you need to know this law for yourself. And I took that advice. And it's a good thing I did, because now I'm able to help my fellow brothers and sisters. See, let me tell you something. When God gives you an opportunity, you need to use that opportunity to help others. And I'm grateful for those who have commented from time to time, told me how refreshing the classes have been, what impact it has had on them. Article 24.1 has become a favorite article.
Yes, yeah,
that's
my
constitutional classes.
Yeah,
now.
that's my baby.
Everybody is quoting Article 24.1.
Tell them what Article 24.1 says.
24.1 says, except with his consent, no person shall be hindered in enjoyment of his freedom of association. That is to say, freedom associating with others for the protection of your interests. It also talks about forming unions. It also talks about other organizations. You have a right as citizens in this country, with yourself along with others, to protect what is rightfully yours. If a government, and let me make this very clear, if a government fails to protect the interests of the people of a country, then the people of that country has every right to rise up and protect their own interests. Article 24.1. Go and check it for yourself.
Yes, sir.
It's right there.
They have
But
the
what-
right. They have the right to go and protect their own interests.
They certainly have. You look at the first phrase, and I tell people you look for key phrases. It says, except with his consent.
Except with his consent.
No person shall be hindered. No person. That includes everybody, whether it's man, woman, boy, or child, whatever. It includes all of that.
Suddenly, all of a sudden, yesterday, the governor of the Bahamas, well, not all of a sudden, because they got the triplex bus. They got the triplex. That I found that I said the triplex didn't have a bathroom, but it did have a bathroom. What they did was they drilled a hole to the bottom of the triplex and put a pipe
Okay.
to run the feces through to the ground. They had a
Wow.
big hole. Like they are very imaginative.
Yes.
You got to give them A for creativity. Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson's the guest. Call it Butterfield. Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson, the constitutional professor. But after discovering the triplex and sending 3 men before the courts, and of course they were fined $300.
I'm glad that you
Three-
mentioned that.
$300. Come on,
You know,
judges.
we got to do better than that.
We got to change the law when
We
it
have
comes to
to,
these
yes,
fines, man.
Of course, I
These
agree with you.
fines, these fines are too. They back pocket,
That
front
is-
pocket fines.
That is why I am saying to the Bahamian people, Article 52.1,
Yes,
what is the purpose of Parliament? See, we got to understand 3 distinct things about law. For the peace, 1. Order, 2. 3. Good government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
yes,
The Bahamian people have been so lax, including myself too. So I'm excluding myself because
Yes.
I'm a part of the Bahamian people.
yes,
We have not watched those who sit in that house talking foolishness and nonsense and passing laws which go to a Senate which doesn't even say, look, man, this thing ain't right. So even our senators are carried away, just rubber stamping everything that comes from the lower house. You got a upper house and you got a lower house. We have legislators who have not been doing their job.
yes, sir.
Where is the peace? Where is the order? Where is the good government for the Bahamian people? Those 3 distinct ingredients must be in every single law that is passed in this country. Check Article 52.1. Some of you don't even understand the purpose of your representative. We all can't stand in the house and speak. But the person who sits there ought to represent your interests, not his or her personal interests or some party's interests. We get this whole thing all mixed up. And I saw from some of the people there, and I have to be very patient because this thing has been wrapped up and tied up for more than 54 years. They don't know distinction between party affiliation, party membership, parliamentary affiliation, parliamentary designation for the persons who represent in Parliament, what they're supposed to be doing, the cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the senators of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We get all of these things mixed up, and the Constitution clearly spells out what those positions ought to be. But we get it all mixed up. One woman called me on the show and she said she thought the FNM party was the government. When the PLP was in power, people thought the PLP party is the government. The government is not the House of Assembly. The government is not the Senate. You may have members in the House of Assembly, members in the Senate who comprise the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and your Constitution says clearly the government has what? Overall direction and control. The cabinet, the Prime Minister, with 8 others, minimum number, makes up the cabinet. And they are all ministers. Read your Constitution very carefully. They're to be sworn at this minute. Now somebody come up with some nonsense about state minister. And then people get all mixed up and calling you don't see anything in the Constitution about any state minister. You see parliamentary secretary. Oh, yes, that's in the Constitution. You see permanent secretary. Oh, yes, that's in the Constitution. They're constitutional offices. Nothing in your Constitution talk about even a deputy prime minister. It's not there. But the man appoints a deputy prime minister. He can appoint a minister.
Nothing in the Constitution speaks of deputy prime minister.
No, sir. No, sir. It never did. It's not there. It's completely out, completely. That's why you will see, even if the particular personality names, quote unquote, a deputy prime minister, he said deputy prime minister, minister of education, deputy prime minister, and attorney general. Because there's no constitutional office called Deputy Prime Minister. Something happens to the Prime Minister, but the Constitution tells you how to deal with that. It's clear, well, it ought to be clear, but with a lot of people, they are confused. Because of the wicked actions of persons who have had the authority to govern this country, have misled the Bahamian people. And that's why I always say to people, do not allow the wickedness of persons who may have been elected to cause you to despise your salvation document, which is the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Because if you don't have that, you have nothing. When you go before the court, you got to bring that. Because the man will look at it and say, well, what this is? This paper with some nonsense on it.
Let's take a quick call, Sydney. See what this place have to say. Good morning. You on National Access.
Good morning. How you doing today, my friend?
Doing extremely well, Craig. How are you?
This Craig. Listen, I just wanted to correct. Now, everybody gonna remember in 1992. Okay, I just wanted to correct the guess. When Ingram became Prime Minister, Conquest went and jumped up beforehand and put the DPM plate on his car. Ingram told him no. And he had to drive around in number 2 because he was only deputy leader. You only are deputy leader. The position of deputy prime minister is purely ceremonial and purely at the discretion of the prime minister.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, I know. But he made Orwell wait about 6 months because Orwell was too fast. Remember that? You all remember 1992?
I do remember this. I do remember.
You're correct on that. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah, and that's what he did. He made Orwell wait.
Yes.
He made Orwell wait. So that position, so when Desmond went in that position, and there's no automatic right of succession, rubbish. That's right. That's just a pretty up position.
It's rubbish.
Exactly. Anyway, that's all I call it. You all have a good day. Keep praying. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much,
listening.
Greg. That's correct.
All right, man. Take care.
Greg Butler. Thank you so much, Greg Butler.
He's right on target. I cannot disagree with him. I remember the incident that occurred and what the Prime Minister then did at that time. So he's 100% correct.
You know, one of the things that was discussed last night, first of all, guys, I don't want to get off this Abaco thing so quickly, but one of the things that was discussed last night is the power that lies in the lap of the Prime Minister.
Oh.
That man is so filled with power until he will become competent authority till Jesus come back on earth. When Jesus come back, who's the competent authority? Minister is his hand. Pick me, pick me, pick me. I mean, he's obsessed. He's obsessed with being able to tell you what time to go to bed.
That was a very interesting conversation, and boy, that sparked that light of that room. Like I said, July the 4th and July the 10th combined could not meet what was in OSB last night. And it's an interesting conversation. See, the Constitution gives the Prime Minister awesome powers. I describe it like a gigantic octopus that spreads its tentacles in every single facet of Bahamian life. Now, if you get the wrong man in that office, you're going to be in trouble. That's the way the Constitution is designed. He has awesome powers. In fact, I believe I gave OSB 30-something things he can do without talking to anybody. Ain't got to ask nobody nothing. Just do it. Is it correct? You may not agree with the way he's doing it, because let me tell you some ministers, there are no specific clear-cut qualification for no minister. It's who he wants. He could pick one fellow from Baintown and make him Minister of Finance. He got nothing about no finance. You can't say you're wrong. He has the power to appoint, but he could also disappoint too.
If you're calling the show, please call 828-3543, 828-3543, not 828-2543. So you can call the other number. So 828-3543. That's the number to call. Let's go back to the phone lines. We have a call. Good morning. You are National Access.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Please listen to us. Don't listen to your radio.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
I remember going to a town hall meeting, and Dame Sawyer, she said something to the Constitution, and it speaks to where persons who are legally working in this country are permit holders. if they have children while in the country, that their children are legally can be here legally and do have the right to obtain citizenship at the age of 18.
I don't know if you got that correct. I don't
Adrian,
think
you remember that, Adrian?
No.
Yeah, this is the town hall meeting over at Jovanton Road.
Yes, this is Colette.
Okay, call it. Repeat what you said just now.
Dame Sawyer said that if a permit holder has a child in this country, for example, a doctor who is working in the country, maybe on a permit,
Yes.
or like let's just say a Cuban doctor or an Indian doctor or a Haitian laborer, if they are on a permit, they are legal to be in the country. And if during that time they so happen to have a child while they have their permit, which means that they're here legally, their children at the age of 18 have a right to obtain citizenship.
No, they have a right to apply.
They only have a right to apply.
They only have a right to apply.
So they don't have
It's not guaranteed.
That's why I said, Pastor Francis, she might have misunderstood. See, I listened carefully to what the woman was saying.
So who gives them the okay? Is it at the discretion of the minister?
It is at the discretion. Here's what happens. Call it for the most part. I think the principle is this: you can't come to the back door and get a front door benefit. The challenge the government has had over the government itself has been breaking the law.
That's correct.
You cannot give a permit to somebody who comes in the country illegally.
That's right.
Right.
If you come in the country illegally, that then becomes discretional. How did you get in the country? Did you come by air? How did you get into the country? And so all these things need to be readdressed, even constitutionally. Article 7.1. But the bottom line is, so many persons have come here illegally, and here's the burden of it. And because I feel for, and I know people beat me up who are sovereign behemoths, they beat me up all the time. Here's the challenge I have. I spoke to a group of young persons of Haitian descent who were born here in the Bahamas the other day. Their main point of interest that first, it's not our fault that we were born here. It's not our fault. So why are we being treated like second-class persons in our own country? One of the same young ladies who I spoke to, who's in the group, I went to her Facebook page, and she have on her Facebook page her name, and you know how Facebook is actually set up. And then she says, from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now, she already have a citizenship, but she's from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. So we have to be careful of children who are born here, who want the benefits of being here, but no real attachment to us.
Well, Adrian, before I hang up, let me just speak to her and how she feels. I don't understand exactly how she feels. I've never been in that position. But as a parent, I believe that it is my duty, if I go into a country, to find out the laws, okay? People like to compare and say, oh, Bahamians go to America all the time and have their babies. Yeah, and some of them, they may claim the yearly thing that they get every year, their tax return or whatever.
Yes.
But the reality is, America has a law or had a law that allowed persons to do that. We don't have that same law.
Yes.
And so their parents, and if you may be here or maybe wondering if you could come here and you may feel like, hey, this is the way to do it. You go there, you find somebody, you get married, and you have kids. Your parents, as a parent, it is my job to find out, when I have a child in this country, what would their rights be? What would it take for them to get a passport? Think about your grandchildren. Because if your children don't have a passport, where does that leave your grandchildren?
My God.
And so I would like just to speak to the way they feel with that one. I believe that it is the sole responsibility of their parents to find out all that they could before they have a child here. When persons go to America and they have a child, they already know what the deal is. Okay? Here we have laws, and it is up to your parents or whomever to address that. Now there is a loophole that I believe persons may have been using, and that is the adoption.
That is a major loophole. That
And
is,
so if your guest could speak to that,
that is a
that would
major
be
loophole.
nice.
Yeah, I'll let you speak that. One of the other things, Colin,
Okay.
that has been very, very telling by the persons who come here, and I think I don't know if Colin's still there, but one of the other things that has happened to persons coming here from Haiti, they've been waiting until the women are pregnant, and at a certain point of their pregnancy, to come on the boat, because the reality is they want them to have their children here in the country. They want them. Good morning, Margaret Elizabeth. They want them to have these children here, and so it's intentional, despite the fact whatever the loopholes or whatever the laws are. One of the greatest challenges immigration is having right now is the authentication of parents to children who are in the country. So any number of persons would say that this child is my child, and then they come up with the documents out of Haiti to substantiate it. And so there are all sorts of skullduggery because we've dug this hole. Sydney, your time, we've dug this hole, and simply we can't climb out of it.
Let me just put it this way. I'm not going to get into all the wherefores and the whys about how people feel. That's nothing to do with the Constitution. Constitution is supreme law. Let's make that point clear. I am not interested in how people feel who come here illegally.
But I feel a certain way, Sydney.
No, that does not make any difference. You can't go by feeling if you're running things according to law.
Yes, sir.
There's no mercy. There's no compassion. There's no feeling. Let's get that straight. Even God's law doesn't offer it. That's why Jesus had to come and die for us. The point is we cannot allow how people feel, some strangers, some foreigners, some aliens, some outsiders, how they feel. Give me a break, man. You talking about what's going to happen to these people who don't have...
But they ain't got a place to stay, Sydney. What you
No,
gonna do?
listen to me. I hear that. I'm not even interested in that. You know why I'm not interested in it? Who is concerned about when Bahamians run into difficulty?
Let me-
Where is, and I've seen this happen, and I can speak to that part about the adoption thing, what the lady said I should address. Because they tried that old trick on me some time ago. I know how they operate.
Let's take this quick call. I want you to hold your thought. Keep your thought. Keep your thought. Keep your thought in your head. Go ahead. We don't want to lose the call. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Adrian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is Paul.
Go ahead,
right?
Paul.
Paul Willie. My parents are from Haiti, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. The difference between my parents and the rest of the Haitian people is this. My father came to the Bahamas, right way,
Mm-hmm.
right? He came through the front door, not the back door, right?
Yes.
When he got everything straight, right? He invited my mother to come over. They were already married. He invited her to come over, right?
Mhm.
But I'm getting right? See, a lot of people pay attention on the right?
Yeah, your phone sound kind of far.
I'm not
yeah,
getting what he's
your
saying.
phone sound, you have it on speakerphone.
No. I have you on Bluetooth.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you better now.
Yeah. And so what happened is they
You said okay. Start over so we get clear. Your father came through the front door, married your mom.
yeah, no, he was already married my mother,
Uh-huh.
right? After marrying my mother, right? When he came here, he was able to work, and my mother brought my mother here with him, right?
Uh-huh.
Both of my parents were Bahamian citizens,
Okay.
right? Both of them were Bahamian. But you see, Adrian, what the problem is in our country?
I don't understand what the caller is saying. I don't understand.
Let him finish.
What the problem is, right? a lot of these people, these captains of these boats, a lot of them, what they do, they go to Haiti, trade, that they can get them straight. They can get them straight when they come to Nassau.
Yeah,
right?
that's bad.
And that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And see, I think what
Turn your radio down.
I think what needs to happen is the government need somehow to charge these boat captains with human trafficking with the people who come from Haiti, right? Because this thing is totally out of hand, right? I mean, I thank God that all of us were born here. All my siblings were born here, so we are Bahamians,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my mother and my father were Bahamian citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Y'all were born before
Right.
1973, right?
But Francis,
That was before 1973, right? But I remember as a little boy, right? I think is in the Constitution. Everybody, you are able to wherever you're born, that's the nationality that you carry. But I think after
I think I call it
after a while, I think Celinda changed the whole system of it. If you remember, Celinda changed the whole system. You know, but I mean, I don't. But let me tell you, my thing is, although my parents were from Haiti, look here, we got to do it right.
Do you believe?
Right.
Do you believe, Paul? Do you believe, Paul, that children born in the Bahamas should have automatic citizenship?
I think so. It was like that before. Why to change the game?
Because I mean,
Right.
obviously, what has happened is the back door has been wide open. Persons have been coming here illegally, having
Yeah,
a lot of
that's what I'm saying.
having a lot of
Fix
children here.
the back door.
So yeah,
Fix the back door.
yeah, but
Fix the back door.
because the back door is not fixed, how then can we go about rectifying giving automatic citizenship because the thing is so far out of control?
Yeah, but Adrian, I can assure you, once you fix that back door system, right, things will automatically become in control.
So what do you do?
Because-
What do you do to all the persons who are here now? If the back when the back door is fixed,
I mean, the ones who are here, right? I think it need to be fixed. The ones who are here, they need to be straight, right? My thing is,
straight out.
yeah, straight. I mean, they should be able to get a paper to become a Bahamian citizen, right?
So you're telling me
But
that all the
I-
persons who would have come here against the law, once they're already in the country, they should get citizenship.
No. I talk about the ones that were born here.
No, but-
I'm not
oh,
talking
oh,
if you,
Okay,
If
kids
you
who
came
are
from
born
Haiti,
here.
right? You're Haitian, right? You came from Haiti.
Sydney, Sydney wants to say something quickly, Paul.
no. See, I have to understand
Uh-huh.
what the gentleman is trying to say because he has a lot of things mixed up.
Uh-huh.
I can tell you that right from the break.
Yes, sir.
I
He
can't,
talked
I
about-
can't, I can't hear. I mean,
he
you
talked
can speak
about-
into the mic.
He talked about, I'm speaking to the mic, sir. He talked about his father coming here at a certain point in time.
Yes.
And then he's saying that he came through the front door. I don't understand what he's talking about.
He came in legally.
What?
No, is
What
his
you mean you don't
father,
understand?
just give me a point, sir. I'm asking a question. Let's go back to the very beginning. Are these persons who are coming in or came in at a particular time non-Bahamians? They are from Haiti? Is that what he's saying? His father and mother from Haiti?
Yes.
And his
My,
father?
my father came to the Bahamas in 1957,
Yes. Go on.
right?
Uh-huh.
From 1957, right? He invested in the Bahamas. He had properties, right, in the Bahamas. So that gave him rights to become. That's why he was able to get citizenship.
But let me go back to the beginning of the Constitution because I think some people got this whole thing all mixed up.
73.
No. January the 10th, July the 10th, 1973. It says clearly, and this is where people get a lot of things mixed up. It says, one, persons who were born in the former colony called the Bahama Islands. That's
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Number two, you are a citizen of the United Kingdom and colonies. Number three, those who fit that category have the opportunity now to have citizenship in the new nation, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
So really, his father in 57 would have been a citizen of the old colony.
No. Wait a minute. So you got to understand.
Go ahead.
His father was not born here. Your father was born here?
No, my father was born in Haiti.
Well, you see, the point is, that's what I'm saying. This is where the whole thing got all mixed up from the beginning. Only persons who were born in the former colony called the Bahama Islands. That's point number one. Point number two, you are a citizen of the United Kingdom and colonies. Haiti is not a colony of the United Kingdom and colonies.
Yeah, but all of us was a citizen of the colony. Everyone before 1973. Every one of us. You as well.
No,
You
sir.
as well.
No,
You
listen
are
to
a
me.
British
Listen to me.
subject.
Listen to me very carefully. What the Constitution says, I'm not interested in what people feel or think. I'm not even interested in that. I'm not even entertaining that. The Constitution is very clear. How the nation begins. We got to start from the beginning. We have all this nonsense and foolishness because we didn't follow the law.
So the Constitution, the nation
The
began in
Constitution
1973.
says July the 10th, 1973. How did the nation start? One, persons who were born in the former colony, the Bahama Islands. Point number two, they are citizens of the United Kingdom and colonies. Point number three, they now can transfer to become citizens of the new nation, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's where it begins, right there.
Yeah, but
And if you get that,
I
just hold on,
understand-
please.
I understand all
Hold-
that, you know.
Hold on, Sidney. Hold on. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I understand all that. Right after 73, it became a new Bahamas. So we had to put some things in place.
Like what?
That's what I'm saying.
Like what?
I'm not negating that.
Some things
some
like what,
things-
sir?
Huh?
Some things like what?
Yeah, relating to Bahamian citizenship.
We got 14 articles in our Constitution that speaks specifically to citizenship in this country. I'm not interested in how people feel or how they think.
Okay, so Sidney.
Those articles are right there, and there may be some misunderstanding on some things.
Yes, sir.
It speaks to 7-1.
Okay, so Paul, one quick second, Paul. Your position then is if a child is born to the Bahamas, in the Bahamas, let's take for
Yeah,
example.
but Adrian, listen to me. Listen to me. Right now, in this country, we are in a mess, right?
Yes.
Right? When I say we are in a mess, right? We have persons who born in the Bahamas, right? Who never placed their feet in Haiti.
That's not important, sir. That's
Huh?
not important. Being
Right.
born in the colony,
Are you
being
gonna
born,
allow me- are you
listen to
gonna
me
allow me to
carefully.
speak, please?
Being
Are you gonna
born
allow me to
in
speak?
the Bahamas does not make you a
Allow
citizen.
me to, please.
Let him
No, he
finish
can
his-
speak.
Yes, sir. Let him finish his. Let him
But you
finish
can't give misinformation.
that. Okay, but let
We got to deal with the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
let him finish his statement.
No, but he could go on.
Go ahead,
I have no
Pablo.
problem with that.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Pablo.
Right, Adrian, like I was saying, right? We need to fix our present problem right now, relating to the kids, not only Haitians, right? Jamaicans, children from parents who are Cuban, all in America, all that need to be fixed, right? And I think with the government, both administration will fail to address that matter. Because they only want to address that matter when it comes to election, right? To make sure they can't miss some votes or to grant some people a citizenship so they can vote for them,
Okay.
right? But it need to be fixed. That's an elephant in the room.
I think
Got
Paul.
to
I
be
think
fixed.
Paul, for the most part, and I hear you. I do believe that we're becoming an unregulated melting pot. But the albatross around the neck of the Bahamian people, is the invasion for the most part of the boats that we've never stopped from coming in.
Yes.
Persons are coming in, hiding
but see,
in.
Adrian, like I said-
Hold on,
like I
Pablo.
said earlier-
Hold on, Paul. Persons are coming in. They're having children. They're having children, and they are in the Bahamas illegally in doing so. And so the bottom line is, what we're doing is we're rewarding persons for breaking the law in our country
That's
by
correct.
giving
Yeah,
them
but
documentation.
what I'm saying is this, right? Right? I'm not for persons who breaking the law, right? You in a country, right? This is not Haiti. You have to abide by the laws of the Bahamas, right? If the laws of the Bahamas said that you have to come to the country the right way, you have to abide by the laws, right? But what I'm only saying is that we are in deep problems because, as a country, because we fail to address the matter.
Yeah, and so
That's what
I
they-
think it's being addressed now. Paul, call me back after the break because we have a 10 o'clock break. Call me back
Yeah.
after the break. We can continue this after the break. Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson will drop his bomb because Sidney raised his voice. He can drop his bomb right after we come back after 10. Jesus, Sidney, you scared me just now. I thought you was gonna bite the microphone.
Listen,
Don't bite the mic.
when it comes to the Constitution, you better talk sense.
Listen, we're gonna talk some sense after we come
You
back.
better believe that.
God, oh Jesus, this is getting hot up in you. Delton, I don't want immigration coming. You have your papers on you. I don't want them come here and get you. Guys, let's take a quick break. After the break, Lord have mercy in my Anglican voice. Let's take a break. Jesus.
You're under.
Best dress, hats off, looking like I walked out of catalog. Everybody wanna know where I got it from. Catwalk, 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 boutique, where we make fashion statements. Catwalk, boutique, where we make fashion statements.
For the latest styles in women's clothing and accessories, visit Catwalk Boutique on Robertson Road East at the Helron Plaza. At Catwalk Boutique, we make fashion statements.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, fresh out the water and affordable too. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want. Ocean blue got it. Ocean blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean blue is the best in seafood, fresh out the water and affordable too. Ocean blue seafood, we are here for you. Ocean blue seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Burnett Road. Contact us at 393.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Want to be pampered? Want to be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
Photography at its best. Professional and quality service. Warren Grant Photography specializing in weddings, portraits, sunset images, events, and photo booth. Creating compelling images of life-changing events. Make that step today and call 242-424-5678 or email Warren_Grant251@yahoo.com or check out our website at www.warrengrantphotography.com. Facebook and Instagram, Warren Grant Photography. We change moments into memories.
Listen to Glory 93.9 FM for the best mix of traditional, classic, country, contemporary, and Caribbean gospel in New Providence, Bahamas.
I call it perfection. When elegance and taste make a connection. Every single dish is a taste of heaven. For your banquet or your wedding, who you getting? HD catering, HD Catering.
Book Heaven's Delicacy Catering today with Chef Lachey Jones and experience a taste of heaven on earth. Call 533-9621.
HD Catering.
Boy, 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 here calamity. Boy, 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 don't want that be me. Let me get this coverage, do it once and for all. Insurance management is who I gonna call.
When calamity strikes, we're here to keep you safe and secure. With offices in Nassau, Freeport, Abacoy, Luther, and Exuma. Insurance management, we cover the Bahamas.
Horton's Car Rental and Auto Sales, Robinson Road and 5th Street, The Grove, is your premium choice for affordable transportation. We have reliable cars at unbelievable prices. Ask about our daily rates, starting at $50, and our weekly rates, starting as low as $280. Call us at 437-4017 or 676-3977. Horton's Car Rental, your premium choice for affordable transportation.
Stop letting these other guys run you hot while looking for ice. No need to check the food store, the gas station, conveniently located around Nassau. Cooler Ice. So for just $3 US, you can get a bag of ice whenever you want, or refill your 5-gallon bottle for the same $3. The ice machine is closer than you know. Cooler Ice. With locations at Arawak Key, Potter's Key Dock, Montague Boat Ramp, Superwash locations at Prince Charles, Carmichael Road, Soldier Road, Charles Saunders Highway, and 3 new locations: Superwash Nassau Street, Wolf Road, and Gibbs Corner. Cooler Ice Bahamas, fresh and ready whenever you are.
Hey, it's Bertram O'Bubble, and I will be reading from the Book of Glory 93.9 FM, and it reads, "For this station shall be the best gospel station."
Hi, I'm Benita Washington, and whenever I'm in the Bahamas, I'm tuned in to Glory 93.9.
This is Jay Todd, and whenever I'm in the Bahamas, I'm listening to Glory 93.9.
The freshest wave of glory to hit the Bahamas. This is the all-new Glory 93.9 FM, where God is glorified and the people of God edified.
How upset it is. Let's go back. They've been bypassing the Constitution in favor of emotions.
That's correct.
The law is the law, says Chrissy Brown. Oh my God, what a day, what a day, what a day. What kind of nonsense is this jumping up in here today? Operation Sovereign Bahamas is designed to deal with the constitutional law of the Bahamas. Constitution classes every Thursday. I'll be back on. Guys, welcome back to National Access here on Glory 93.9. We're living, of course, under an open heaven. The Constitution of heaven and the Constitution of earth. Let's go back to the phone lines. I think we have Paul will be joining us. He wants to clarify. Paul, thank you for coming back. Listen, somebody's asking Paul to clarify something. Please clarify if both his parents were Haitians. He left me somewhat confused. The person wants to know if both your parents were Haitians.
Hello?
Hello, is this Paul Billy?
No, this isn't Paul.
Oh, the same Paul. I thought that was Paul. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
I had a question for Mr. Thompson.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
The citizenships that were granted that were unconstitutional, is there any way that the government or the minister can recall those citizenships? Is that legal and constitutional?
It's not a citizenship in the first place, because anything that's done illegally, contrary to law, is not valid. It's just a piece of paper.
Okay.
Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank
the
you.
thing, no, but let me explain it. Make sure you get it clear now. Anything that is done illegally in the country, someone hand you a piece of paper and say you got a license to open up a shop, and it's just a piece of paper with some writing on it, it's not authentic, it is not valid. So those things could be recalled. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
The caller asks a very interesting question.
Yes.
Very interesting question. Sydney, You go around in different vehicles. From time to time, I see you in different cars. Are you?
I exercise caution and restraint.
Are you protected?
But let me put it this way. I believe that the Lord is with me.
His
And,
rod and staff.
I'm not afraid because I stand on the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Let's take another call. I got to make sure you're a bulletproof vest. Because that's your built in.
Don't look at the street.
Good
Look
morning.
at that, what you don't see.
Good morning. You are National Access.
Yes, good morning. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing extremely well, sir.
Excellent. Mr. Thompson, good job, sir. Question to you. The constitutional classes are every Thursday?
Every Thursday at Operation Sovereign Bahamas. What's the street name? What's possible?
Excellent.
Number 48 Pinedale.
Number 48 Pinedale
Excellent.
Street.
Awesome. Also, I want to note, I just heard a gentleman just now speaking, and it seemed like they are more concerned with where they come from than this country. Here it is. I don't think at this time we should be giving out citizenship. We should be giving them residency. All right, not citizenship, because we have too much of them here now from down south. I mean, it's ridiculous. Even yesterday after watching the news, here it is. They charge a Colombian and a Dominican person, right, with overstaying their time.
Yes.
And the charges was $3,000 each or 3 months in prison.
Yes.
But now, when the Haitians are overstayed or come here and landed illegally, which they often do, they come here illegal anyhow, right?
Yes.
Or to the back door. What they do is charge them $300. I mean, this can't be right. This is not fair.
That
This
is
not
a
right.
disparity in
And
the
we have to correct this.
Yeah, that's correct. I agree with
I
you.
think the penalty ought to be a bit stiffer, simply because I think for the most part, and again, it's not discrimination. It's what is happening is people try to change the narrative and make you feel guilty or call you xenophobic. The bottom line is the country has to be built based on sovereignty, constitutional law, and then also on the principles of the Word of God. You cannot just come into a nation, shift the whole culture of a nation, do as you please, and then expect at the end of the day to get sympathy or empathy
Yes.
from people.
You know, Mr. Francis, you're so correct. The thing is this. You want to come to my country, change the law to suit you and your people, right? And overrun the country. I mean, here it is. They are the largest group of people in this country who are creating havoc and causing a problem.
Yes.
For instance, when we can see Frankie Campbell stand up in Parliament and hold up 2 passports, right?
Yes.
That's a slap in the face. You know, it seems that...
Hold on, let me do. Frankie was saying that one of the passports he held up was a diplomatic passport, and the other passport was a Bahamian passport. Now, Frankie was a diplomat in Haiti, appointed by Hubert Ingram to be a diplomat in Haiti. And so when he was a diplomat in Haiti, part of the consulate, I think they gave Frankie a diplomat passport. And
meaning the Haitian government?
No, the Bahamian government, Ingram gave him one.
Okay.
And so I think Frankie had a diplomat passport. Now, I didn't get to zoom in on the passport to see whether it was the Haitian passport, because if I zoom in, like how they zoom in on Peter Krieger on that fraudulent document, we made it no way to it, because Frankie's I still trying to figure out how Frankie get a Campbell, but Frankie.
Now, listen, that man is not a Campbell, sir.
Frankie,
Frankie,
mommy last name is Blanc.
Yes,
B-L-A-N-C.
Blanc is from Haiti. Okay, Blanc is from Haiti. We all know that. Also, Mr. Francis, I'm gonna go right now, but let me just say this last thing. Here it is. We need to strengthen our laws and change a bit.
Yes.
Like to stop them from getting in our armed forces, even in our parliament.
I don't know how you do that at this
Because
stage.
They're not for this country. The interest is not for this country.
Are you being
All right?
xenophobic by saying that? Because when I say things like
No,
that,
sir.
right? Because
No, sir.
the deputy commissioner
Not at all.
police, is Maria Davis, is of Haitian descent. Her parents are Haitians.
Okay.
So how do you go back now and bring her all the way down to the constable?
Okay, this is how you do it, Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis, and this is how you do it. You see, you have to make laws to protect the Bahamian people, to protect our country, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Bahamians can't even go in Haiti and buy land. Am I right?
That's right.
You tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you ain't
Okay,
wrong.
watch this. Okay, watch this now. Here it is.
Then there's a
We
buy
allow
land by the
these people to
mudslide.
come- That's right. But we allow them to come in our country. Right? Not only come in our country, right? But they are everywhere in the country and every armed forces, and that should not be, okay? Not until down to the third generation, okay? We can't allow that someone just come in the country legally and end up in customs, end up in the police force. You understand what I'm saying to you? All right? It can't be. We have to make the laws state that, hey, unless you're third generation, whether you're Haitian, African, or whoever, you cannot go in parliament, you cannot go in the police force, you cannot go these places. Now, other jobs are free. Privately, it's fine, right? But we have to make the rules to change, sir.
What about Kong salad? They can
Sorry?
they can still make Kong salad.
Well, I mean, they can make it for those who want to eat it, but it ain't gonna be me. I'm
Listen, man.
not xenophobic now.
Thank you very
okay?
much, man. Thank you very much.
All right, so you all have a good day, sir.
You too, man. You too.
All right.
Let's go to one more call, Sydney.
Okay.
Let's go to the next call. I think we missed one call there. Let's go to this call.
Hello.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Call will be missed. Colleague, let's see if we get this call back. Oh boy, I tell you, Sydney, you open a can of worms today. I hope you could close it.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay, it's Paul. Paul calling back. It's Paul Billy. Hello? Okay, they'll call back. Okay, so Sydney, you open a can of worms. How can you close it?
But let me say this. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Any other law that's in contravention of this Constitution, this Constitution shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of the inconsistency, shall be null and void, as Article 2 of your Constitution.
Article 2.
Okay? The thing is that I don't get mixed up in all the
emotional stuff.
If we're going to go by emotion, we can always govern
1 second, caller.
unfairly. We will always govern unfairly. We have to go according to the law. That's why I said you got to start from the beginning. How did the nation come about? Well, you got to start with the article in the Constitution that tells you how the nation began.
Okay, let's go to phone line. Caller, you there? Hello.
I think I heard someone.
Okay, you can call back, guys. Please call back so we can get you. We're trying to have a conversation. Plus, take all these calls as they
Yes.
come through. We're in a conundrum. We've allowed this can to be kicked down the road.
But let me say this.
Let's try one more time, Sydney. So,
Okay,
please excuse me. Good morning, your national access.
Good morning. You can hear me, Mr. Adrian Francis.
I can hear you, my dear.
Okay. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mr. Sidney Magaro, Walter Thompson. Good morning to my mortal
morning.
boss, former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram, and his miraculous
Now,
healing
Berenice.
power.
Berenice.
Now I am on point.
Berenice.
Yes, sir.
Stay in the room today.
I stay in the room because you know this whole thing would have people confused and hurt. You can just get people on this show and question them. You have Bahamian former woman parliamentarians who said that they vacation in Pearsonville, okay, with this Haitian thing. But the main thing I am about now, so our people will not suffer, is this African strain about Africans. What are y'all going to do about the Africans? Because you have certain women who have given this consent for these Africans to come in here because they are sweethearting them, say that they make better love than the Bahamian men. Now, up in Abaco, they have all kind of Africans that have stolen Haitian passports, okay? And you heard some of the women calling on the talk show, Junkanoo Talks. Now, it is alleged that the Chinese is buying these the Junkanoo out completely. Please address this African thing, because I don't want nobody who have this African strain.
Okay,
and who
Berenice.
run African,
Thank you very much.
who
Let's go.
run my mortal boss, former prime minister.
Okay. Blessing to you in Jesus' name, amen. Caller, please call back. Those of you who've been trying to get through, please call back. Berenice goes into a realm that very few can actually enter. Let's go back to the phone lines real quick. Oh my God. Good morning, your National Access.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Paul again. I want to rebut what the guy you were saying, your caller before. Let me tell you something, right? I'm a Bahamian first, right? I'm a Bahamian first. I was born in this country, right? My allegiance lies
Who are you second, Paul?
Huh?
Who are you second?
Which means second?
You say you're a Bahamian first. Who are you second?
I'm not second to nobody.
Okay,
I'm
but then you're a Bahamian.
Yes, right? My allegiance is to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, where I was born.
Yes, sir.
Right, where I hold a document, right, as a passport to say I'm a Bahamian. Right? I've never held any other passport in my life. It's the only place that I know is my birthplace and the rest of my siblings. Right? I don't know what he's talking about. Let me tell you something. Right? I love this kind of debate. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
I love this. Right? And I wish I'm doing the class on Thursday. I wish I wasn't doing this class so I could attend your constitutional class. But anyway, when I finish this class, I'll probably, when you all have another one, I'll come there.
Yeah, man. We are always constitutional Thursdays.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. My allegiance is to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
You see, boy, you can ask people all the persons who are here, because I tell you, I meet with these persons constantly, because this is a mandate. And Mama, I know Mama very well, and I know your family very well. You cannot speak for all the Bahamians who are here. Your siblings are my friends, personal friends. What has to be fixed in our country goes outside of friendship, emotions, and everything else. The reality is that not all persons who have come into the Bahamas, gotten citizenship, they're brought into the Bahamas.
Yeah, and another thing I want to address, when Frankie produces both passports in the House of Assembly, one was a diplomat passport because he's a cabinet minister.
No. That was not a cabinet minister passport he put up.
That's a red passport.
Yeah, that was not at that time. It was not a cabinet. The one that he held up.
But once you're a cabinet minister,
the passport that he held up, Paul. No. You're right. But the passport he held up that day, and I got to take another call. The passport he held up that day was the one given him by Ingram at the time. Let's go to the next call. I'm calling you on National Access. Please, I'm turning your radio down. Listen, listen, not your radio.
Good day, Adrian. How you doing?
I'm doing extremely well.
Good. This is Colette again. First of all, Paul, the caller who just hung up, he said he would love to continue. He loved these kind of debates. This is not a debate. Okay? We are simply discussing the Constitution, the supreme law of the land.
Yes, sir.
Now, I called earlier and I asked a question asking if we could recall citizenships. Now, when you want something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
That's right.
We didn't just start having an immigration problem. And until we get some people in there who can set some examples and start recalling some citizenships and humbling some people,
boy, Jesus,
we will never, ever deal with this issue. See, it's too much connections and wickedness in high places around here. And so this is the reason why we cannot enforce the laws, okay? How do you want to enforce the law? So even now, when you start recalling citizenships and you say, okay, we have good grounds for this, this is straight and plain and simple, okay? And I love my Haitian brothers and sisters, don't get me wrong, and they know this, but we going by the law, okay? If you are in a shanty town, that means you clearly don't have nowhere to stay. You need to go home. All right?
Oh, Jesus.
That's just it. You need to go home because when you got your work permit, whoever signed your work permit should have stated where you would have been living. So that shouldn't even be an issue. You shouldn't say, oh, I like the person who said I had a work permit for 30 years. How you get a work permit for 30
years
and you are living in a shanty town?
How could you wait for 30 years?
Explain that to me. Okay? So the reality is until we get some people who care enough, and it takes the regular citizens.
Thank you for joining Operation Sovereign Bahamas. Yeah, thank you so much.
To stand up and say, hey, this need to cut out now. We shouldn't be having people saying, oh, this one commit a crime. You commit a crime and you are a citizen who was regulated. Buddy, goodbye. We're calling your citizenship because this is not what we call good. This is not what we want. And this is where the management of immigration comes into play. You can't be giving out citizenship based on your discretion. Your discretion could be, you may be somewhere down the line connected, whether that be to a Haitian, a Chinese, a Jamaican, or Cuban. Okay? It goes straight across. This ain't no debate. And we need to stop playing. And I am so glad this gentleman is on this show today because he really opening up some eyes. And the reality is we, the people, need to apply some pressure on the government. Because if they do not enforce the supreme laws of this land in the next 20 years, this wouldn't even be a discussion. Because all of these talk shows, the host would be Cubans, Chinese, but maybe not 20 years, but maybe say 50. Okay?
No, not gonna be 50. You're looking at 10 years. 10 years.
I'm not picking on no Haitians. I'm not picking on no Haitians, but I have never seen a Chinese shanty town. Okay? Let's make it make sense. When you say you come for a better life, create that better life. Okay, create that better life. That don't mean you send cash and go. And these people say they send out millions of dollars out of this country.
150 million almost a year.
Why are they homeless? I don't understand it. And until we get some people in there who can enforce these laws, we joking and we can keep having the same discussion.
Thank you so much, Carla.
All of us.
My God.
Okay, I go on now because I could hear it better on my phone.
Oh my God.
I must say the caller made some.
I think you bring it from last night. The same passion from last night.
I think the caller made some very good points. I can't disagree with anything that she said. I think she's right on target. And we need to deal with the Constitution, which is the supreme law. And that's why I said over and repeatedly, we need a national government that can solve problems. We need people in Operation Sovereign Bahamas. That's one.
Problems.
And we need people in government that can solve national problems. We need representatives in the House of Assembly who can solve constituency problems because they represent you at the constituency level and also the national level. I think the lady made very valid points and she's right on target.
I never see people come to a country and turn the country into where they come from.
Exactly. See, I've had some experiences with these people talking about this adoption foolishness. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There was one who came to me some time ago, a couple of years ago. And I knew from the break it was a fraud. He wanted to say he was the father of some children. He was not the father of the children. And there were some others who came to me who were in this country illegally because their passports showed that their time was up. And do you know, Brother Francis, they were here 3 years, 4 years after they should have been out. I said, wait a minute, you ain't supposed to be here. You're illegally in the country. You should have been gone a long time. But they're still here. We have to find ways and means of checking up on persons who come here by plane or by boat, whatever it might be. We have so many ports of entry. I sometimes wonder, are we manning these ports of entry properly? We probably are not doing that. Maybe we need to shut some of them down and have tighter control.
I'm glad Dawson here today because there are some persons here who are interested in finding out how you can acquire Crown land. Come to Operation Sovereign Bahamas. We are now dealing specifically with the acquisition of Crown land. If you want information on how you can acquire Crown land, 698 1046 1047 698 1046 1047. Applications are there. leave your name, and you got to become a part of Operation Southern Bahamas. We ain't just
Yes.
you got to become a part of a movement.
Yes.
We're doing this thing in a sequential order. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, you on National Access.
Yes, good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Sidney Walter, MacArthur Thompson.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Intellectual stimulus. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm
All
doing
right,
quite well.
Yeah. Adrian, I just listening in. I was a little late, but nonetheless, I had the opportunity for the last 30 minutes.
Thank you, man.
But you had you spoke about this massive problem concerning immigration in the Bahamas, and a lot of people may not even understand that this is a very simple problem to solve.
Okay.
Most of the things that we need to solve this problem concerning the immigration in the country already exists in law. The problem is that they are applied disparagingly, and there is no standard as to what we do for work permits, et cetera, from timeline. So essentially, we only need to put all the immigration laws on the table, examine them. But before we examine them, let's first have a discussion as to what we want in our immigration laws. What do we want for the requirements for entry and to live? What are the requirements we want to enter and to work, and the time limits associated with? Just use an example, and I'm going to come back to this as part of the statement. We ought to be, about the shantytown statement, I think it's a bigger problem than it is. And I think we're allowing the politics to hijack the statement concerning the shantytowns. But I'm coming right back to that. Let's go back to, I said, putting law in how we live. When you enter the country for a work permit, you should have a particular time limit and a fee schedule. What do I mean by that? Let's say you came in for a domestic worker, and the work permit for the first year is $1,000. Second year, $1,000. Third year, $3,000. The fourth year, $5,000. And the fifth year, 100% of your work, whatever of your income. So it's and essentially, you don't say, oh, there's no, the people argue about the limit. To simply put, if I'm paying you $20,000 a year, good. And your fifth year, your work permit is $20,000 a year, so you had net zero. And so, when they come in, when individuals come in, regardless of nationality, you have where the work permit should be attached to a rental agreement, a health insurance policy, a life insurance policy, and any children accompanying them should also be required to be shown where their education is being subsidized by the employer who is allowing them to come in as part of the work permit, or that the sufficient income is for individuals to be able to pay. The misnomer we have is the same thing when you go to the education law, where we says we are to guaranteed access to education. Somehow we have allowed the conversation to say that we are guaranteed education. Access is where you are not prohibited from having an education, not one where you are guaranteed an education to be funded by the state. And so, and like Walter MacArthur said, we have allowed a misdialogue and a convolution and conflation of words, and enough to become a practice, where, like you see, you read the Constitution, it tells exactly what it is. There's no options in the Constitution of how you think, how you feel, or how you believe, what you was told, what you was wished for. It doesn't work for that, because in the same way you want the convolution, but then when you want particular rights, you say, no, let's not use convolution, give me exactly what the Constitution says. Now, let's go back to the housing issue. The greatest problem that I see in this whole shantytown issue we miss is the crisis faced by similar behemoths. Now, I just told you any work permit effective immediately must show proof of a housing regime. That's
Where you going to say? Give me the insurance. Give me both insurances.
It ends the conversation on a shantytown, because clearly you must state where you live, where you're staying, everything else. See, now, because what I'm saying to you is, in the shantytown issue, when you look at the housing issue, what it causes is this is an elaborate attack on behemoths. And what I mean by that, because individuals are allowed to come into the country and you don't give them sufficient money to pay for housing in part of their work permit, you say Bahamians can't live in the country on $210 a week to pay for housing and all these other different things, but then you say you allow somebody to come into the country and work for that minimum wage. But and so because Bahamians it can't work for that, because you don't now provide housing to the person you're paying $210 a week, it causes them to depress the wages of Bahamians. And this is why you say immigration is a multi-billion-dollar fraud business. Why you say that? Because if you take 50,000 illegal Haitians, Jamaicans, whatever, in the country, and or even working on work permit, and you could pay them $100 less per week, you're now talking about $300 million a year that you have in savings and salary. $300 million to the books of businesses. Now, what happens? You now have 200,000 plus Bahamians that also, because you're now competing with those individuals that work for less, will also now salary be depressed. Now, you multiply it by 52, that's $1 billion in savings in salaries. And so what you have is a cascading effect. And when you look at the shantytowns exist in our urban communities. And so what we have to do is shift the conversation to housing. What we need is affordable housing in this country, not just for foreigners entering to have the proper housing. We need it to happen for Bahamians. And so when you correct the so-called immigration defects, and when you correct the housing defects, then Bahamians will have access to all of the things that they themselves are being allowed to be disenfranchised from. And so, but essentially, what we have to do is lay down on the table. Forget how we say, this is what we're doing, this is whatever. Because when you lay down on the table, this is the rules we have. You can look at that immigration, and these are the new rules we begin to abide by. And any rules that is contrary to our new demands will then actually fall away or be struck down. Now, how do you identify the problem we have in the...
We get 2 more calls, so go ahead.
No, I know. Just let me end this quickly. Let me tell you, you say fix this very easily. Require that every person in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, as they are doing now with the Competent Authority, to have a government-issued ID, properly constituted and documented, even biometrics if necessary. So that means that the only way you can have an ID is through a legitimate source of related process. Then at the same time, put a penalty in immigration law to make it payable to anybody hiring a person without properly documentation. It's $5,000, $10,000 fine. I think it exists now. But here's the part you add to that. You put there that anybody reporting somebody working illegally will get 20%. So if you have a $5,000 fine and I'm at work and I report that somebody's working illegally, I will automatically be given.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Just enforce that the business pay it or lose their license fee or their access.
Exactly.
You have made every single person in the job site a quasi-immigration officer, because they will have no problem in making the report. But let's make it make sense. Let's call it, let's make it make sense in our laws. And so we need to stop talking around the things that is facing us, both as Bahamians, but as for individuals, because we want them to live like us when they come to us. And so let's have that conversation on housing, on employment, on identification, and everything else. Thank you so much.
Tremendous contribution. Thank you very much.
Call it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope the people in Operation Southern Bahamas is listening to that, because it's very important for us to take some of that information and make it practical. We have to go back to let's go back to this call that we missed. That's very, very, very important. Some of the things Cialan said.
Yes, it's a very, very important.
Housing. Yeah, you were calling it a national access.
Hey, yeah, Mr. Francis, how are you, man?
Very well.
Awesome show right now, man. But listen, the first thing we need to do, with respect to our laws and stuff, is we need to fix our laws where it benefits the Bahamians or the Bahamas.
Yes.
See, when these people, you'll find these people that are here in this country and they are not here legally, or even those that are here by a certain time, you need to give them permanent residency. Do not make them citizens. Unless you are able to benefit this country and take this country to the next level for Bahamians, I don't think you should deserve our citizenship. You should not just take citizenship and just bestow it on anyone just because they say they want to be a citizen of the Bahamas. What are you going to offer this country to take this country to the next level? See, that's why we have the problem with You have two persons right now. Everything they fight for is Haitians. But guess what? They have Bahamian passport. You understand? But you have to tell these people, okay, that you are in the Bahamas. You should be defending the Bahamas. You should be pushing the Bahamas constitution and everything forward, rather than this nonsense of trying to make people believe that they're here illegally and they have a right to this, they have a right to that. That's nonsense. Okay, make them permanent residents, but do not give them our citizenship unless they can prove that they're here to advance the Bahamas to the next level. Thank you.
Let me just add to that. You give them nothing. They get nothing. You don't give them anything if they don't deserve it. You see, this is the problem we have. If you have persons who are a threat to national security, there's a way to deal with such persons. People who come here illegally have no right to be here. They get zero, zilch, nothing. Period. You don't give them no permanent residence. You got to be sick, man. Give them what? They get nothing. Zero. You cannot make something. See, this is why the Constitution is extremely important. You cannot lower your supreme law to the level of some of these people who think they could just walk on it as a doormat. See, that offends me. I'm very offended over that. Mm-hmm. That is why it's important, the quality of the people you have to run the affairs of your country. You say we. I could agree with that, because we have elected certain personalities. There's a way to deal with them kind of people too. We haven't been doing that. To deal with people who have the authority in their hand to carry out the will of the Bahamian people in their best interests. That has not been happening, because the government itself has been using 7-1 in the wrong way. Now, if we're going to talk about changing anything in the Constitution, we could start with 7-1. Now, that's a personal suggestion. Now, remember, I have a right to express myself, too.
Yes.
So I want to make that, I want to say that to
Deal with
the Bahamian
7-1.
people. 7-1. Let's deal with 7-1. Let's finish with 7-1. And we make it retroactive right to July the 10th, 1973. So all of those who got citizenship by fraud, you knock it out. Because you see, they shouldn't have it in the first place. It was given illegally.
828-3543, 828-3543, 828-3543. What a time today. Let me read another text message here. Adrian, how in the world did former PM Hubert Ingram represent Abaco for decades? And not stop all the illegal Haitian immigrants from coming in and shanty towns to grow. That's amazing. Ingram was prime minister, and Ingram watched that thing for 3 times. He watched that festered.
Now you know what that means, eh?
You think I ain't say firing squad, but would you? How come Mr. Ingram allow that?
No, how come the Bahamian people allow that to be done in this country? See, Article 24.1 comes into play. You cannot leave it up to a particular personality to correct it. The person may be guilty of some other things, okay? I think I can leave it right there at that point. But the point is, we as citizens have to watch what a government is doing. You got to watch this one right now. There's all kind of nonsense going on. You have to watch your representative. Is the representative speaking for you or speaking for himself or herself? Where are your views? Where are your interests being protected? Do not wait on a particular personality to do it for you.
That going straight to my brain just now, right? Only Lipton tea is going to my brain.
But this one got to get in there
That
too.
going straight to my brain just now.
Because
Hubert Ingram, how long Hubert Ingram was a member of parliament?
Too long. And see, this is what we have to look at.
What kind of answer that is?
Too long. He was prime minister for 3 terms. The fellow wanted to get 4 terms. And then God had to kick him and get him out the way.
Oh, God kicked him.
No, he got kicked.
He got kicked out.
And the fellow was
Thanks for
trying
coming.
to resign, which made it even worse. To show you the kind of mentality he has, he tried to resign after he was elected as a parliamentarian. He was elected.
Let's take
He had not been sworn in as yet.
Let's take this
Still
quick
tried
call.
to get away
Let's take
from
this quick call. Morning.
Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Doing extremely well.
That's good. Good morning, Mr. Thompson.
Good morning, sir. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. You're hard at it, Mr. Thompson. Hey, Adrian.
Hey.
I'm going to be short this morning. How about the penalties for persons coming here illegally? $300 for persons of Haitian descent, but like $3,000 and $1,500 for every other national. And also persons are being charged before the court without being in the country. Like you can't enter the country without a COVID test or the single.
My God.
You see what I'm talking about?
They even getting charged for that.
They're not getting
Persons
charged.
only getting charged $300, an encouragement to keep coming back again, because it's so obvious with the penalties that
That's
it's an
correct.
encouragement. It's like 10% of the total that they charge persons who come from Haiti, but everyone else paying $3,000 and $1,500 and the fine that you want to fly back.
The people who charge them are Haitians, eh?
Beg your pardon?
The judge and they must be Haitian, eh?
They're given directives by them, because look at what Attorney General Maradoué. This whole thing, when we looking at this whole equation, you have the Attorney General, he's been the click. You have the Minister of Labor, he in the click. You have the other folks, he's the click. But I feel like, I don't know, I mean, like, it isn't a good thing. Right now, this election period is coming on. Persons, the questions we need to be asking is persons who are vying to be politicians in this country. One of the first questions we need to ask them is who your parents is. What your behavior is, so how far back that is. How loyal are you to this country?
Lord have mercy.
We can't just allow these people with all these other names pretending to be, we come to do this, we come to do that, and they come in a certain kind of name, like, you see how Frankie get in, right? And you see a couple of them, other people with them funny name, and all they want to get, even Jeff Lloyd. Look at the name Lloyd. Jeff Lloyd been on the radio for years. The Aguilar. Denouncing behemoths, calling behemoths lazy, calling them Keith. What the Aguilar used to do, he used to take all his laundry mark carts and take one wheel off, so that he felt like he would steal his laundry cart.
Listen, man. Listen. How's your day? How's your day today? You having a good day?
Well, I can't say I'm having a good day, because in the Bahamas right now, the behemoths can't even really be on.
I just want you to enjoy it. Get a cup of tea and get a piece of cake or something to go with your tea, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
I beg your pardon?
No, they get a piece of cake and some tea, and because you're a little hot today.
Why you say that, Adrian?
No, I say you're a little hot today. You've already touched all of the last names of all of our folk. From Lloyd to the Aguilar to
He has touched some of the names.
To Blanc.
No,
He
but
has
listen
touched some
here.
of the names.
These
Not
people
all.
been on the radio airwaves on Jeff Hardy's own show for a while, you know.
Yeah, you're
And
correct.
He
Jeffrey.
expressed himself ad nauseum how he felt about the Behemoths, and I was so shocked to know that he got elected. The Aguilar did the same thing. Every time he come on a talk show, give the stand to Bahamian people.
I like the I like the Aguilar.
Yeah, but it ain't a matter like the Aguilar, you know. It's a matter about the Aguilar liking the Bahamian people. and they putting them in a certain position and thing of what they do. Listen to every time he went open his mouth to talk. Sounds so disrespectful. Especially when he's talking about the Bahamian and this tourism, like he owns tourism. He does not own tourism. And he ain't bring them to the table to make tourism better anyhow. These people feel as if they get in a position, they can just be there. And because things just not really happen because of the American economy and the world economy. Nowadays, all the economies are basically struggling. You know, what he can say, what can he do? Nothing but just promise. You know, and then it's sad, but like I say earlier, this election period, persons must ask these people directly who your people is, which island they come from, how long they been in this country. And if they telling you all kind of other thing, or some of them may even be lying about their people because they carry our name, because we have a lot of identities after this country, if you ask me.
No,
because I can't, you know,
are you member of Operation Southern Bahamas?
Yes, I am, but I haven't attended meetings for a while.
Okay, I can need you to attend some meeting because you sound.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I can need you to come to some meetings because you sound. Oh God!
Yeah, man, I mean, hey, Adrian. I tell you nowhere to lie. I mean, basically, you haven't seen me become a meeting, and I used to call talks and all. They just back off a bit, you know why? The real thing is going in this country. They haven't even got a voice to speak. Let me show you how bad it is. All these different radio talks, I'm in it, every single one, right? But the majority of them who have these talk shows and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we have a problem in this country, look how bad it is. We can't even say the word or the name Haitian if you have illegal migration problem. They don't cater to that. But you know what they do? They can be at nauseam from the early in the morning, 6 o'clock, till after lunch show, whoever, right? And you know what they do? They talk about Bahamian like dog. They can say anything but Bahamian, but then they don't say nothing. You can't even open our mouth to say nothing but no because they hang up on us. How is it that in this country, you can have these persons who are on talk show and Erica would be there, and all they doing is just making Bahamian people angry and don't even allow them to call their talk show, they express themselves on nothing. And when they do call in, they there to fantasy of everything, they know everything, and they just, for 5 seconds delay, they just put any Bahamian up under the ground. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right. If they can't call the name of the person who caused this country so much dismay and so much disaster, I'm talking about the Haitian people who are in this country and feel as if this is their country because all of us are black. We have these racist people who call Bahamians xenophobic, but they don't really like the Europeans. You see, it'd be a problem in this country, man. Serious problem.
Listen, thank you so much, man. I got another call. Listen, all the best. You hope to see you soon, buddy.
Yeah, I'll end up the meeting one. You on Tuesdays, right?
Tuesdays. Thank you very much, buddy. Let's take this call.
Okay.
Let's go to the next call. Oh boy. Good morning. You're on National Access.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
I'd like for you to ask Mr. Aguilar if you have any family on any of the outer islands. Thank you very much.
Yo, God, Dio. Yeah, super wash family.
Let me just say this, Brother Francis.
What a show today. I'm dealt with what you do to me today, man. Go ahead, Sidney.
You're going to have people who will ask questions, and they have a right to ask questions.
Yes, sir.
They have freedom of expression.
Yes, sir.
Freedom to impart ideas and opinions without interference. There's a way to deal with radio stations that don't allow that, or pretend as if it doesn't exist. There are some issues with IRCA. I call IRCA about a particular issue, and I asked them, why are you just sitting there? And knowing these things are happening, you're not doing anything about it. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to put it in writing and let them give me a written explanation. Because I've called them a couple of times. I was not satisfied with the expression from the particular personality that I spoke to, and that individual is just simply working there and is going to look into it. I've heard that before. We need some direct answers from IRCA on a number of things that are happening in this country. They say, well, you got to put in the complaint. Well, you put in the complaint. What is the result of those investigations? You see the same thing.
Police.
Yeah, but you're always putting a complaint. And then I asked the person, is this the first time you're hearing this? They say no. Well, then what the hell are you doing? Because there are no solutions. No solutions coming forth. So what the Bahamian people are going to have to do is put pressure on IRCA. You got to put pressure on these entities that are supposed to be serving the interests of the Bahamian people, because some of them, they get dead lost. There's a way to deal with that.
Oh, boy.
Your Constitution, your supreme law, gives you the authority and the power to do. Don't mind nothing, any crap what they may say.
Sidney, you were hot today, and I got to be careful because you was hot last night.
Oh, yes.
I need to see if I can get you in a cool room.
But let me just say, the participants in the lecture, they were the ones who, like I said, July 4th and July the 10th, the fireworks, all of them combined could not suffice what happened last night.
First of all, you're calling the wrong number. And second of all, we're out of time. Listen, Jesus, I can't imagine what happened in the show today. Let me just read this text as we get out of here. Our leaders went to Haiti and they ate the food and came back with obey on them. We have to dismantle wickedness, the person says. We have to dismantle wicked altars, especially in Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Thompson, Adrian. God bless you both. Oh, they said they're going to Haiti and they're going to the altar in Haiti. I never been to the Haitian altar. I don't know what they're doing. You sacrifice on the Haitian altar and come back with Obey. Guys, this is love you all. Enjoy yourself. Global Ministries, 10 a.m. Number 46 Pinedale. Please.
On Sunday night.
On Sunday. Sunday, guys, please show up on Sunday and get the word of God. Amen. Guys, I love you all. Appreciate you guys. This is a vexing issue here in our country. And if we don't deal with it, at least they don't got some. They make one of them houses like Sandwich yesterday. They smashed up them house in Abago yesterday. Thanks for coming. I wonder when people sleeping. But
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, come on, Sydney. Let's take a break. Let's go.
Stay right there.
Let's get out of here. We out of here, guys. Sydney wants to see both sides. Let's get out of here, guys.
Up in heaven.